really wanted that bad.
Yeah, I'm the best. I only speak facts. Greg is in the building. You had it right, Lil J. 1000% it is me, because you know I'm the only one that is going to come on a Saturday afternoon impromptu rant, because I have been confined for a week. Family vacation. I had to take the kiddos. It was spring break. We were on a cruise, and we were also down in Miami, so I had to take the kids. They had to get out there and do their thing. I was confined. I did get the opportunity to get some videos off with Jason, and I didn't have the opportunity to really get into the comment section. We dropped a couple of videos today. Unfortunately, one of the videos we did was actually mistitled, so I had to take that one back out. I'll drop that one again tomorrow and make sure that the videos that we had are titled correctly. But we dropped the video today with David Benavidez, and man, I just had to get on and just late Saturday afternoon and just ran a little bit, man. I wanted to see if there was going to be some people that was going to join me. We'll see what it is. I'm probably not going to run for 2 hours today. Of course, we'll still be on tomorrow live 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We always do it Sunday 4 p.m. Eastern Standard every Sunday. So make sure you join us and check us out. But I just had to jump on here and make sure that I got it off my chest, and make sure. Let me go ahead and make sure I sign in to the call in, so that everybody can get a chance to call in as well. I was having some technical difficulties as I was getting ready to get on here, and I forgot to do that. So let me get that going as well. But yeah, man, I ain't got my phone down here, so I can't even. I'll get logged into that eventually. But let me go ahead and get started on it. So we did a video earlier today with David Benavidez, and a lot of people didn't catch this because it was on Fresh and Fit, and Fresh and Fit is not necessarily a boxing podcast, but I actually enjoyed some of the content that he put out. But David Benavidez was on Fresh and Fit, and he talked about numerous topics, including Canelo Alvarez. But there was one little caveat that he mentioned in there, and there was a question that was posed by somebody that I guess was in the chat that they had, and the question was, would you be interested in facing Terence Crawford at a catch weight of 160 pounds? David Benavidez said absolutely not, because he had not made 160 pounds since he was like 12 years old, but he would be interested in the opportunity in facing Terence Crawford if that opportunity presented itself. He's currently at 168 pounds. So in other words, if Terence Crawford was interested in fighting him at 168, he'd be interested in fighting Terence Crawford. And for whatever reason, we got a bunch of backlash in the comment section from Terence Crawford fans saying we hating on Terence Crawford, saying that we come on here and make stuff up, and we're liars, and everything up under the damn sun, just because literally this man said this. So again, this channel is about conversational pieces, right? And we talk about things that fighters have talked about. We talk about things that we talk about amongst ourselves, Jason, myself, things that people in the Discord talk about. We do have a Discord, so if you're interested in joining the Discord, let us know. I'll drop the Discord in the chat as well. But we just talk about different topics that are currently going on in the sport of boxing. We don't make shit up. I saw somebody talk about a video that we did in regards to the PBC, and that Amazon Prime feel that the PBC's show that they had last weekend was a smash success, and that they were very impressed with what PBC did. Now, I said in that video, I added the caveat that we did not have numbers. We didn't have that information. I said that we had a source that gave us that information. And for some reason, we were ridiculed by saying that we had a source. Like, everything needs to be ridiculed if you don't like the information that's being given to you. Well, if you don't like the information, don't fucking listen. You ain't being forced to listen to it. Go find something else that you want to hear. Listen, this platform, and Jason and I have talked about this on many of occasions, this platform, we come on here and we give our opinion. And my opinion is unfiltered. It's unabashed. I don't give a damn what you think about my opinion because I'm going to give it. Period. And I've had people reach out to me who are from different entities within the sport of boxing who have tried to chastise me about my opinion, who has criticized me about our opinions. And I've always pushed back, whether it's from whoever. I'm not going to say what entities they are from, but at the end of the day, my opinion is my opinion. I'm going to give my opinion. But here's the caveat. Here's the thing. This is what I feel is great about our channel. We give you the opportunity to also give your opinion. It is also a platform for you to come on and give your opinion. We don't mind any pushback. We've had people come on the channel and say, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Your opinion doesn't make any sense. There are plenty of people like my lender for life comes on every weekend and tell us that we don't know what the hell we talking about, right? I see Jason Williams, who I'm pretty sure that we're related somehow because for whatever reason, he's been in my life since I've been doing this channel and he has been aggravating me like he is related to me. He must be my brother or something. But at the end of the day, he pushed back on everything we say. John Mack, I swear I argue with him in the Discord every damn week. He has called me a liar on occasions. We go back and forth all the time. Everybody gets the opportunity to have a voice on this platform. Nobody has gotten, there have been some people that have gotten blocked, but they just go too far, right? They start calling us names and all that other stuff. Start getting personal. I'm not here to be your punching bag. If you live vicariously through another man, such that you feel insulted because we have said something to the effect of he needs to fight a certain opponent or something to that effect, if you've gotten so insulted by that you feel the need to insult me, calling me names, talking about family or wives or whatever the case may be, then you need to go. But outside of that, if you think I'm an idiot or a moron or anything of that nature, I'm perfectly fine with that. I have no qualms about that because guess what? I know, just like you know, that I'm not an idiot. You know I'm sharp, just like I know I'm sharp, right? And I tell everybody all the time, yeah, I'm an ass. Jason calls me an ass all the time, off camera and on camera. Jason calls me an ass. And he says, what's the wording Jason said? He says, I can't stand you because you know you're smart and you know you're smart, right? No one cannot make me feel like I'm an idiot or anything of that nature. So I don't have a problem with you coming into the comment section and calling me an idiot because I know it's not true. See, when things are not true, they don't insult you, right? They don't make you feel any type of way. Now, if you're coming into the comment section and you're not adding any value to the comment section, that's all you bring is that I'm an idiot. Then, of course, yeah, maybe we need to get you up out of here. But outside of that, I could care less. Now, we did a video earlier today where David Benavidez simply said he'd be interested in fighting Terence Crawford. And for whatever reason, people are upset about that. They're all in the comment section saying, what are you guys doing now? What sense does this make? How does it make sense for Terence Crawford to go up and fight? I saw one. How does it make what sense does it make for Terence Crawford to go up and fight David Benavidez and he's not a champion? Well, what sense does it make for him to go up and fight Canelo Alvarez and he's undisputed? Like, neither one of them make any sense. He's jumping 3 weight classes to fight a guy that's not a champion, but he's fighting 3 weight classes to fight a guy that's undisputed. Neither one of them make any sense. What are you talking about? What sense does he make go up there? Man, that guy's way too big for him. Well, David Benavidez has already confirmed that he rehydrates 17 pounds, which is what I had already stated weeks ago. And Canelo is on record rehydrating up to 185 pounds. 17 pounds is 185 pounds for David Benavidez. So they both rehydrate the same. So if David Benavidez is too big for Canelo Alvarez, then so is Canelo. They're both too big. If you're talking about the weights, then they start talking about the measurables. The measurables. Well, Terence Crawford got a 74-inch reach. So does David Benavidez. So now you're just talking about the height situation, but then you'll sit up and say that Canelo Alvarez should be in the ring with David Benavidez, but Terence Crawford shouldn't. And there's no such thing as the height division. If it was, then you would have had an issue with the fight that we saw last weekend with Sebastian Pandora and Tim Tszyu. But I didn't hear anybody hollering about that. My issue is inconsistent arguments. I hate them. I hate inconsistent, irrational, illogical arguments that make no sense, but you're picking and parsing things that you're saying and doing, or things that have been said and done to try to fit a narrative that you want to present in order to make a point. And in reality, the point that you're making makes absolutely no damn sense. And that is what I cannot stand. I hate that shit. And that is why in the past I said, people say you don't like Terence Crawford, you hate Terence Crawford. No, I don't. Actually, I've said on record multiple times. Number one, I've had Terence Crawford cousin on Chicken. Cool dude. I mean, real cool dude. Actually had exchanges with him through text. He reached out to me through messages before he ever came on the show. Real cool dude. I tried to get Bernie on and I've been told from people who actually support, if you will, PBC, because that's what you guys like to call us, PBC supporters, that everybody in that camp is very cool. I have been told that if I were to meet Bud, he would probably press me for some of the takes that I've had. But outside of getting pressed, salute Athletic Minds, salute my brother. Outside of getting pressed about my takes, man, it'll be all good. I don't dislike Terence Crawford. I hate now I do believe Terence Crawford uses I think he's a master manipulator in terms of creating narratives to make his point. And I think he's very much so like LeBron James in that regards, right? That's one of the things that I push back on LeBron for a lot. LeBron, that's why he has that weak ass podcast currently. What is it? Mind the Game. Mind the Game. We're gonna talk about sports and pick and rolls. No, what you're gonna do is create narratives to support your GOAT argument, which you really don't have an argument. But Terence Crawford is a master at creating narratives to support his arguments. But outside of that, I don't have a problem with Crawford. I would be doing exactly what Crawford is doing, trying to maximize my revenue and minimize my risk. That is what I'd be doing if I was Terence Crawford. I would be trying to fight Canelo Alvarez, and I'd be trying to avoid David Benavidez. There's no way in hell I'd be moving up to 168 pounds to fight David Benavidez and use that as a platform to get to Canelo Alvarez, although I believe that's a possible path. But I wouldn't be trying to do that if I'm Terence Crawford, because if I move up to that weight class, I'm getting dusted if I get into the ring with David Benavidez. But instead of just saying that as a Terence Crawford fan, I would get dusted, or my man would get dusted, and I think he'd have a better chance at Canelo Alvarez, and just saying that Bud is just trying to get to a bag. Some of them do. Some of them will. Some of them will admit that, but most will not. They say it's about the legacy, man. Bud is about legacy, man. Bud is about building legacy. He trying to become 3-time undisputed. No, he not. Bud is about a bag, and I'm okay with Bud being about a bag. I saw Bernie on there trying to spin that the legacy. Man, Bud trying to get that legacy, man. He was in the comment section of one of our videos. Man, it's about legacy. He trying to get that legacy. Man, it's about a bag. And I'm not mad at it's about a bag. Bud is what? 35, about to be 36, something like that. I think he's going to be 36 toward the end of this year. Ain't nothing wrong with trying to get to a bag. Ain't nothing wrong with trying to make sure that you go out with a large sum of money to support your family and build generational wealth for the rest of your days. There is nothing wrong with that. He has become 2-time undisputed. He has accomplished everything that you could possibly want to accomplish in the sport outside of beating a legitimate top fighter. Hey, I'm sorry. I had to go ahead and take a shot at him. You guys know how I am. I got to go ahead and take a shot. But in all seriousness, Terence Crawford has done mostly anything that you would want to do in the sport of boxing. So, of course, you want to go ahead and set yourself up to be independently wealthy for the rest of your life. Just say that. And there is nothing wrong with that, because I will love to see that, because I want to see African American men set themselves up to be wealthy for the rest of their days. The notion that Greg or Jason are individuals who are haters of people, men, or their success. Let me tell you something. Greg is relatively successful in his own right. Athletic Mind, I appreciate the $1.99. I'm relatively successful in my own right. Do I have millions and millions of dollars? I do not. I do not. Am I relatively successful in my own right? I am. And because of that, I have no level of animosity, jealousy towards any man. I don't. I want to see that man be successful. What I can't stand, again, is irrational logic, right? So I want to go to another topic. I hear people talk so much shit, right? 1 minute, they want us to be a voice for creating fights, right? We need to be a voice. We have created a voice. Deuce Daily, what's going on with your fam? We have, and Deuce Daily gonna get mad at me about this topic because Canelo his guy, and Deuce Daily can vouch for this channel in terms of being a voice to say whatever you want to stay on the platform, because he pushes back with Canelo Alvarez. But we have had people say, we want you to be a voice for advocating for fights, right? And then when we advocate for fights, like Terence Crawford versus Benavidez, they get pissed. Why y'all talking about this fight? Why not talk about this fight? I don't get it. Which one do you want? When we talk about Canelo Alvarez fighting David Benavidez, oh, you guys need to stop talking about this fight. Why are you still talking about this fight? It's pointless talking about this fight. Well, which one is it? Do you want us to be an advocate to put pressure on the fighters to call for this fight, for fights to happen? Or which one do you want us to do? And I know we're not the biggest channel in the world, but we're approaching 16,000 subscribers. Which one do you want us to do? You can't have it both ways. You want us to put pressure on the fights that you want because you want a narrative out there for your favorite fighter. But when it goes against your favorite fighter, meaning it puts your favorite fighter in peril, you don't want that narrative out there. Oh, Greg, Jason, why are y'all talking about that fight? You don't need to be talking about that fight. You need to be talking about a fight for a fighter that could knock off. I want a fighter knocked off that could be a threat to my favorite fighter. Because that's the real issue. Oh, what the hell has Boots done? Y'all need to go send Boots. Errol and Boots need to fight. Boots and so-and-so need to fight. Or whoever he needs to fight other than your favorite fighter. So that is truly the issue. So which one is it, guys? Do you want us to promote fights or not? And here's another topic that's been on my mind. I think we're going to do a video about it because it's been on my mind, boy. It's been on my mind. Why is it? Where's John Mack? Is John Mack in the building? You only talk it to see Crawford beat. Never mention Spence. Spence already lost. What are you talking about? Spence haven't even been talking here lately. So, yes, I will talk about if Errol Spence would have won that fight, I've been talking about Errol Spence need to fight Boots. I had already talked about Errol Spence needs to fight. Go look up the video where Errol said, I talk about Errol said that he will fight Boots. And that video is still up. And you'll see that we talked about, hey, he needs to fight Boots if he wins the fight. So what are you talking about, John Mack? Created narrative. You're creating a narrative. But here's another topic that I want to talk about. So, Jervonta Davis, supposedly his resume is trash. His resume is trash. So you guys say. Now, I'm on record giving Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney a slight edge over Jervonta Davis in terms of resume. I give them the edge. But this whole notion that it's trash is ridiculous to me. So why is it that when Tank fights somebody, oh man, that's a trash opponent. But the opponent is perfectly fine for everybody else. Help me understand that. Ryan Garcia, When Jervonta Davis was getting ready to fight him, oh, this is a trash fight. He fighting right. Oh, they ain't no good fighter. But Devin Haney fighting him, and you don't hear none of that pushback. Devin Haney is now on record saying he want Pitbull. And I bet you'll see all the support in the world for that fight. But when Tank fought him, oh, that's a trash fight. When they were talking about the rematch, oh, that's a shitty fight. Nobody want to see that. It's not acceptable when Tank fight him. But everybody else can follow the PBC's blueprint, but the PBC. Why is that? William Zepeda is the opponent that Shakur Stevenson wants. Right now, and my good friend Jay, I love Jay. Jay's in the Discord. I guarantee you if Zepeda would have been announced as Jervonta Davis' next opponent, Jay would have shit a brick in the Discord. But let William Zepeda be announced as Shakur Stevenson's next opponent, and Jay will be in the Discord praising it. Oh, that's a great fight. Oh, that's a great fight. Great fight for Shakur. Great fight. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Hold on, give me 1 second, because I've told you guys I've gotten old here. I need to pull his name. His name is escaping me right now. And I got to go grab my phone here in a second so that I can get this phone line up. Because I know there's people that's gonna get at me. They're going to say, oh, Greg. Jose Pedraza. ESPN did this one. Jose Pedraza, when he fought Jervonta Davis, oh, that's not a great fight for Jervonta Davis. Who gives a shit about him? But Keyshawn Davis fights him, and all of a sudden, oh, man, what a fight by Keyshawn Davis. Oh, my God. It's amazing. It's amazing. Tank beats Barrios. Oh, that's trash. But not Barrios is moving up to 47 and taking guys out. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It's clear to me that there's a lot of hate that's going on relative to PBC and Jervonta Davis, and it's not fair on both sides. That's clear as day. Now, we got 76 people in the building, 26 likes. Guys, make sure you smash the like button. Come on, man. 76 people in the building. The like button is free, man. Smash the like button. Barrios joined Snack too. Come on, dog. Barrios ain't joined no Snack, man. Come on, man. Ryan, trash. Rolly, Pit, trash. Pitbull, trash. Hey, man, I hate Jason Williams. He knows it too. I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed to say it. John Mack always talking crazy. John Mack is always talking crazy. He talked crazy to me in the Discord too. If you guys are interested in joining the Discord, let me know. You guys will see John Mack in the Discord talking crazy to me. Hey, let me go ahead and run into this side room right here and see if my phone in here real quick. Hold on. Okay, my phone is upstairs somewhere. I gotta go find it. So you guys give me 1 second. I'm about to run upstairs and go get my phone. Give me a second. The Rant Master is back. Let me see what we got. God damn, them stairs got me tired. Oh, give me a second. Them stairs got me tired. All right, let me see. Deuce Daily, Greg, your boy Benavidez having camp in Miami. Worrying me, giving history with rain. I was just down in Miami. You know, Jason told me that too. I wish I would have known that while I was down in Miami. I actually would have went down there and saw if I could check them out. Tank put unnecessary rehydration clause on Barrios for what reason? I don't know. D Hall, the People Show. Appreciate you, man. Isn't Paul like 100? Greg gonna F around and pull a hammy running up them steps. Take it slow, old man. Hey, dude. Jason, hey, I was doing, so this shoulder, my right shoulder is so jacked up. I actually got to go to a orthopedic surgeon because my shoulder is so jacked up. I was doing military press and I've screwed it up like a dummy. And now I got to go and get that taken care of. So you ain't lying, boy. I am old. So let's see. What else we got? Back too. Now I ain't gonna pull my back, boy. My back strong as a horse, boy. Brother still can almost bench 300 pounds. And I ain't no young man. Team Gill, what's going on with your fam? Tank resume is okay for Tank. He is not fighting the top guys. Neither is Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney or Teofimo Lopez. Because if Tank ain't fighting the top, these guys ain't fighting the type either. Because apparently they want to fight all the same guys. That's how I'm seeing it, but that's just me. That is just me, fam. All right. I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines right now. I'm going to go ahead and open them up. But no, man, I had to get on here and go ahead and rant, man, because I'm just tired of some of these narratives. I'm gonna talk, Team Gil is my guy. Gil got my personal phone number, so every once in a while we exchange texts. And he knows there's another narrative that I'm tired of, all that Boots narrative stuff. I've dispelled that narrative so many times. I don't know why people keep talking about Boots had this opportunity to fight Terence Crawford. After Terence Crawford fought Sean Porter, when he fought Sean Porter, the two top-ranked people were Sean Porter and Virgil Ortiz. Boots was not in the picture. When he actually won that fight, fam, give me 1 second, fam. When he actually won that fight, then Terence Crawford had, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 180 days to defend that title again, right? Because they give their super champions extended amount of time to actually defend. So this whole notion that Boots could have just petitioned the WBO, because after Sean Porter lost, then it was Virgil Ortiz and then Jervonta Ennis. Somehow that he could have petitioned the WBO to get us a Crawford fight. That wasn't going to happen. So he went the IBF route. This revisionist history makes no sense. 203, you in the building. What's going on, fam?
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Tunnel Vision.
Tano, what's going on with you, fam?
Nah, nothing. I mean, as far as that whole thing with the Boots thing, I mean, by now it should be very clear that he made the right decision. Because if he hadn't stayed the WBO route, like they said for him to stay the WBO route, maybe I've been gone or been in a coma or something like that. Has Terence Crawford faced his WBO mandatory yet?
No.
So if he had taken that route, Boots wouldn't even be a champion right now. He'd be basically just still sitting around waiting. And last I checked, Terence Crawford just petitioned the WBO to fight for the WBO championship at 154 pounds.
Exactly.
So I mean, he wouldn't have got we know for a fact he wouldn't have got an opportunity. He was smart enough to understand that the IBF belt is up next. That's the next belt that's going to be up for a mandatory. And because he was, even though he wasn't signed to PBC, he's still pretty much part of that group. So they understood and knew that Terence Crawford was negotiating with Errol Spence. So he knew that they were, basically they were going to fight. So they fight. If they fight, whatever, if they stay in that weight class, he's next up. You know what I'm saying? Because he gets the win of that fight. If they move up or do other things, then okay, cool. He gets a belt. He 100% fights for the belt next. So either he put himself into a space where no matter what happened, he was good. He was going to be a world champion. He might be a world champion for a vacant belt, or he might be a world champion taking on the undisputed champion of the world. You know what I mean? So I don't know what people are looking at, but it looks like he made the right decision. Clearly, he made the right decision.
Facts. Like, he was never, that's what I'm saying, Tony. Like, this whole notion that he could have went the WBO route and got butt. That was never going to happen. And this whole notion that BLK Prime was an option in 2023, Steven Espinosa has already dismissed that BLK Prime came with, no, we don't got no money for you. We don't have Bud signed. We're just here to negotiate or try to make a fight. To me, what that sounded like is, well, if we can, somehow work with you to bring a fight together, we'd like a finder's fee. And Terence Crawford said, hey, you don't need to even talk to these guys to make a fight. So he really talked out of both sides of his mouth. And that's what I'm saying. Crawford is not above using certain narratives to try to, spin the narrative to say, okay, you had your opportunity, so now I don't have to fight you.
It's not even that. And on top of that, at that time, he was already negotiating to fight Errol Spence.
Exactly.
I mean, what exactly? So obviously, Espinosa, as soon as these people came up to him, I think that honestly, the only reason why he even wasted his time talking to those people was to find out like what exactly is going on. You know what I'm saying? Is Crawford trying to play games again? Like, is he signed to these people? Like, he was trying to get that information, that type of information, because he understood that at that time that Crawford was negotiating to do the Errol Spence fight. So once he got into that and figured out that, okay, these dudes don't have him signed, they're not putting up any money, like, there's pretty much nothing going on over here, he went back to Terence Crawford. Now, I don't know why he didn't say this again. Previously, he had said, like, hey, what's going on? Like, what's going on? I'm getting this information that you want to fight Boots. And previously, he said that, well, at that point, Terence Crawford told him that now his focus is getting the Errol Spence fight done. Because what did they think was going to happen? Because they're not going to negotiate against each other. They're not going to be, the same team's not going to be negotiating for him to fight Boots and negotiating for him to fight Errol Spence. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So it seems that everything, it doesn't make any sense.
No, 100%. And Espinosa has already confirmed that they were already seeking out the Errol Spence fight. So exactly to your point, there was no way that fight was going to actually get made at that point. Terence Crawford already had in his mind, because he had already reached back out to Errol Spence at that point in order to try to make that fight move forward. So the whole notion that at that point, that BLK Prime took it upon themselves to make that fight, it sounded like to me. And that whole notion that this was all being directed by Terence Crawford, the fact that Terence Crawford told Espinosa, you don't have to work through them in order to make the fight, suggests that he was not the orchestrator of that. Just like I originally said, and Easy Money, whatever the fuck his name was, that got all pissed off because I said that I didn't believe that to be the case. These guys, man, they want to believe everything that these guys say, and these guys are not above using specific narratives in order to make a point, to make it seem like they're not ducking guys. And I don't believe Crawford ducked Boots, and I don't believe Boots ducked Crawford.
And the crazy thing about that is that Boots is the one fighter that they were willing to put up money for. So that's also the other part. So they, like Espinosa also said before, we don't need BLK Prime to set up a Boots versus Crawford fight.
Facts.
Because Crawford wasn't signed to him in any way, and they were willing to put up money for him to fight Boots. You know what I'm saying? So if the Errol Spence thing wasn't around, or if it wasn't the thing that was going to work, that's a fight they would have looked at making. You know what I mean? That's a fight even after the Errol Spence fought. The one fight that they've been talking about, Espinosa and everything, has been the Boots fight. They eyes always light up when it came to the Boots fight. So if honestly they're not going to overpay him for the fight, but that's a fight where no, they would put up money to make that fight, because they believe that that's actually a fight that would generate good money. Like, that's a fight they can make money off of. And when it comes to Boots in a fight like that, you don't have to pay Boots crazy money. That's a fight where Terence Crawford gets 75-25. That's a 75-25 type split where they'll probably give him like $5 million up front. And then you kill on the back end. If it's a big fight, you make money off the gate, you make money off of the pay-per-views and everything else. So that's also the other thing. Just the reality is, no, he doesn't. He's never wanted to fight Boots. He could fight Boots now if he wanted to. It's not like he has a fight set up, so he could do that now. It's just the reality is that's not a fight that, he doesn't see it as monetarily to him. It's not worth it. You know what I mean? He's like, it's not worth the risk to him. People don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. He's looking at it like monetarily, this ain't worth it for me monetarily. So I'm better off unless I'm getting, they're jumping out the window and doing something like giving me like $20 million. I'm not going to do that shit. He's trying to be smart. He wants the lowest risk with the highest reward.
That's exactly what it is
right now.
That's exactly what he's looking for
right now.
And I don't have a problem with that because every fighter is going to do that. But let's call it what it is and stop acting as though that's not what he's doing. And Darren Collins Jr. in the comment section, shout out to him. He's always been on the channel, so I want to show him some love. He's saying that we're straight up lying here. But in reality, you just mentioned that BLK Prime was a company that was going out of business. So I want to highlight that because I was killing John Mack in the Discord with that very fact. How is it possible that there was a deal on the table that was reality for Terence Crawford versus Jervonta Ennis when in fact BLK Prime, have you seen a fight from BLK Prime since they had David Avanesian?
BLK Prime couldn't even get a fight with Adrian Broner taken care of, but
exactly.
They were going to pay for a boost to freaking fight Terence Crawford.
Exactly. That is my point. Terence Crawford drove them boys out of business. He bankrupted them.
What happened to that? Weren't BLK Prime supposed to be doing like Thursday night fights or something like that?
They had one
doing that, and we're talking about cheap ass fights now.
They had one. They had one fight over in like Venezuela. They had one fight in Venezuela, and that was it. Some cheap ass fight over in Venezuela in a park. They did it in a park, and that was it.
So where did the money come? Because that's the thing. Espinosa said they didn't even come with money.
Exactly.
They didn't even have money.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because if you had that money, because a fight like that, you got to pay Terence like $15 million. You're going to have to pay Boots like $5 million. You got to put probably down like $20 million for that fight. You know what I mean? It's going to be because Terence is not fighting that dude for less than $15 million.
Facts.
Especially on a platform like that he knows they're not getting pay-per-views. It's going to be sketchy when it comes to the gate just because, that platform is just not what they do. They're not going to – it's going to be – the undercard's going to be super sketchy. It's going to be like randoms you ain't never heard of before. Like the promotion's going to be sketchy. Like, no. So for us to go to fight on a platform like that against a real fighter, he's going to want his money up front.
He's going to want his money
straight up front.
Yeah, he's going to want it. Bud, this is the thing that I was talking about in the Discord. Again, if you guys are interested in the Discord, I will drop the link in the chat. But they were talking about Bud. Man, who going to put up the money for a Terence Crawford versus Boots fight? I'm like, but isn't he a boss? He should put the money up. He's a boss. No, he's a worker. He's a worker that is trying to position himself to get all the upfront money and transfer all the risk to someone else. And I'm not mad at that. That is what most people try to do, right? You try to maximize the reward and minimize the risk. And by doing so, you transfer the risk to someone else. But that's not a boss, because the boss, he maximizes the reward, but he also must accept the risk associated with it. And that's the reason why he's maximizing the reward, right? Because he's accepting the risk associated with it. Terence Crawford is a worker, and workers, they try to maximize the reward and minimize the risk.
Yeah. Terence Crawford has always been very, very risk adverse, like for his whole entire career, and that's why he stayed with Top Rank for so long. It's like he looked at it like I can go to PBC, and I have a potential to make a lot of money, but what if things don't go right? You know what I mean? And then at the time too, he was very sketchy about back end money. He didn't believe that was actually real because of the experiences that he had at Top Rank, from never actually getting any back end money. So he was all about getting his money up front. And like Bomack said, why not take $3-4 million to fight some bums? You know,
hold on, real quick. Let me address these people in the comment section. D-Town Funk. Yeah, what fighter puts up the money to their own fights? I agree. No fighter does. Then they're a worker. Jason Williams, Bud is self-employed, Greg. He's literally an independent contractor. Okay, so let me use this as an example, Tano, because I can just tell you're an educated person. I don't know what you do for a living, but I can tell you're very educated. When you're an independent, I'm assuming you've heard of Robert Half, right? You've heard of Robert Half before?
Yes.
Okay, Robert Half, if you're a working contract, you're an independent contractor, right? I don't go and I don't work for a company. I just work as an independent contractor through Robert Half. So who pays you if you're working as an independent contractor through Robert Half?
If you're working as an independent contractor through Robert Half will pay you.
Okay, then. So you're working for Robert Half. You ain't no boss. You get paid through Robert Half. You still got a boss.
People keep saying if you have to go through somebody, then you can't say you can't just say oh, I'm a straight up boss if you're having to go through somebody. You can't say quote I'm a quote boss. I can understand if for you to be a quote boss, you could call yourself a contractor. You can call yourself an independent contractor. Like I'm an independent contractor, right? When it comes to part of the stuff that I do. For my regular part of my business that I do. But for that, I'm working with doctors. Even though I'm a quoted independent contractor, I'm still working with them, and they're still giving me a check. You know what I'm saying? So in that situation, I'm technically still a worker. Now, when it comes to the real estate that I do, I'll put all the money up.
That makes you a boss.
The properties. I'll put up the money to fix the properties, and then I'll sell the properties. I'm a boss when it comes to that because I'm the one that's paying. I guess you could say independent contractors to fix the floors, to fix the bathrooms, to fix the kitchens, to do all that stuff. I'm paying them to do that. So in that situation, I can sit there and say, yeah, I'm a straight up boss. You know what I mean? In that situation, I can say that, yes. But if you're not like what's it called? Like Floyd Mayweather said, it's nice to say you're a promoter. It's nice to say that. That's cool. But unless you're putting up the money, you know what I mean, to pay the fighters, to get the venue, to do all, to pay for the production, everything like that, then you're not really a promoter like that. You're not really a boss like that. So the reality is, no. What Terence Crawford is doing, no. Is he a boss, quote boss? No. He's somebody that, yes, he's an independent contractor, and he's trying to sell his services to people. He's trying to give out his services so other people can give him a check. You know what I mean? That's what he's trying to do. And in this particular situation, what he tries to do is he's trying to find people that he believes has a fan base, and find a promoter that's going to be willing to pay him. So then he can take advantage of that person's fan base to make himself money. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to do the same hustle as he did with Errol Spence. Like he found somebody that was stupid enough to fall for his shit. You know what I'm saying? He found somebody like an Errol Spence who was willing to give him more than he was actually worth. You know what I mean? He found somebody that even though he wasn't worth 50%, that man wanted that fight so bad he just gave up his leverage, even pulled money out of his pocket in order to do the fight with him because he wanted to fight so bad. But it seems to be as if he tried to find that situation again. He thought he could do it again. It just didn't work this time. He thought I can leverage my win to get a Canelo fight. And then I think the hustle was to try to get a higher percentage than he would generally get as far as what his worth was, so then he can hustle that. But it didn't work. Then he saw Tim Tszyu. What has he been talking about Tim Tszyu? He was talking about the Australian fan base, how they can make money off of Australia. So he found another person with a fan base where he thought he could push his way into that situation. But again, it didn't work. I guess they tried to give him some kind of multi-fight deal that he said no to, So he figured out, hey, another way where I can get this, I can use the WBO. And I can use the WBO and force this fight. And then with the WBO, he can say, hey, I've made this amount of money. I've had these type of viewerships and pay-per-views, and this is his, so I should get the lion's share. So put himself into a space where he can then end up getting what he wants, but by sidestepping the PBC and not having to, work directly with them. But the PBC saying, F that, we'll drop the belt. So now he just found himself into a conundrum where I'm not sure what he's going to do. And don't get it twisted. I don't know what Bud might have up his sleeve. because he pulled BLK Prime out of his sleeve before. So he might have something like that, under his sleeve again. I don't know. But right now, the things that he's tried to do just haven't worked. And there's a potential that he just walked away from the biggest payday that actually was realistically available to him with the Errol Spence thing. Because I think even with the Errol Spence thing, they looked at it, they were trying to make the deal work, and I think they just got to the point where they're like, you know what? This ain't going to work. Because they're not willing to give up the things that they gave up from before. So that's why I think Earl got his eye surgery. They're like, man, just get your eye surgery because this fight, so we can just let this expire and we can move on. And it seems as if PBC has just moved on away from him. But he's still trying to try his tricks and still trying to, because he has no reason not to. It's worked before. So until he gets to the point where it's like, oh, shit, I really can't get a fight, he's going to keep trying to do what he's doing.
Hey, I think exactly what you're saying is probably correct. I think that's a great way to look at it, too. And he's just been trying to figure out different ways to leverage his position in order to get the biggest bag. And I'm not mad at it. I'm really not mad at it, but call it what it is. And that is my thing. Stop trying to act like it's about legacy and all that shit.
Yeah, no, that's my only thing with all these, especially with him and the Haneys. It's like, just be real about it. There's no need to be shitting on other fighters. There's no need to be making up things. Just call things for what they are. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Haneys, all about legacies, all about legacies. Yet somehow you find Ryan Garcia right now for money. Yet
exactly.
Somehow then you're trying to go after Isaac Cruz, a fight that you said with all these fights that you said were trash fights are the fights that you're aiming to go for. You know what I mean? So it's just call it what it is. Just call it what it is. You're about the money too. You wanted to be, you're risk adverse too. You're trying to put yourself into the smartest position where you have the lowest risk but the highest reward, and that's what you're trying to do. Go on a tank route, there's risks with that. We saw that tape. You know what I'm saying? There's risks with that. So why take that risk because over there you're only going to get paid what you're worth. So why take all that risk for $8 million when we know we can be running through these dudes for the next couple of years and keep building our name up and keep building up those checks and long term make substantially more money than if we do this fight where, if we win, it could be great. But what if we lose, though? That train could be coming crashing, halted real fast. So we're going to ride this way. And if these other fights are available to us, like a Ryan Garcia, we're going to bend the knee and take it. When it comes to and he bent the knee. Ironically, all this talk about Tank needs to do this, Tank needs to do that. But what did they do at the end? They bent the knee and they gave Ryan Garcia the higher cut. They bent the knee to Kambosos and gave him the higher cut because they were getting paid what they wanted to. They were going to make good money, and it was low risk. Terence Crawford is trying to do the same thing. He's trying to put himself into a position where, the metrics, the guy, he's tall, he's long. There's a metrics when it comes to what's the name, to Benavidez, but when it comes to Pandora, all of a sudden those metrics don't mean anything all of a sudden.
No measurements.
You don't care about the height and the length. You know what I mean?
Measurements. Because it don't mean nothing.
Because again, it's low risk, but that's for him. It's high reward. It's not the biggest fight that Pandora can make, but he doesn't care. He's going to be able to make a shitload of money on that fight if he's able to get that fight done. Tim fight was going to be the same thing. Low risk, but very high reward for him, where it's I'm good with $10 million. I'm good with $15 million fighting that guy. I'll take my $10 million, and I'll just keep it moving to the next situation I can get.
Yep. But hey, let me get to the next callers, fam, because there's been a couple of people that done called in. But I appreciate you calling in.
I am. Y'all be safe, man.
All right, later. Now there is comments. One second, I'm gonna get to you real quick, fam. But there's a report that's out there currently that supposedly Terence Crawford is working directly with the Saudis to make a fight with an opponent at 54 for a title. So I don't know how true that is. I actually doubt it, but we'll see. Man, what's going on with you, Walt?
going on, big bro? I agree with Band Up and you. It's like, because Terence Crawford's put himself in the position, like, a lot of his fans, like you got to look at it like this. Terence is a great fighter. We all know that. But he's just not a draw. And the sport is called prize fighting. People keep getting off emotion on the fighter himself. But people are not going to put up money, because you look at Terence Crawford before the Errol Spence fight. He was, like, doing gates that like, really small gates. Like, people weren't making... Park Rank was losing money on Terence Crawford. It's like... So, to me, if you look at Terence Crawford fights Boots or Pandora, it's not bigger. It's not a bigger fight than Boots. It's going to make around the same kind of money, because if Terence Crawford fights Boots in Las Vegas, every NBA player, every football player that's off at that time, they're going to spend money to see that up front. Their ringside seats are going to go for big money, because Boots is more skilled than Pandora or Zoo. He beats both of them.
I agree.
It's like but just like Dan said and you said, that's the fight. The reason why that fight ain't gonna happen, because he sees the risk in that fight. It's like, and I'm not saying, like you said, that he's scared of Boots, because we know he's not scared of anybody.
He's not.
But there's a risk there. There's a big risk there. With them other guys, there's not as much a risk. So he's trying to leverage everybody, which, like you said, I agree. He should. He's near the end. He should get all his money. But he's getting to the point now where this brother's going to be like 36 soon. It's like, I mean, I know he stays in great shape, but if Saudi don't come through for him, who's going to come through for him?
Nobody.
I don't get it. So to me, he's kind of backed into a corner, because both of these dudes, I think that Zoo and them are going to fight again. So then what does he do if Zoo and Pandora fight again? He's going to wait a whole nother year for somebody?
Well, yeah, the guy just mentioned his name, Madrimov, is who he's trying to work with the Saudis to actually make a fight. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm skeptical on that. Very skeptical.
Who has other belts at 154?
Mel still has a belt.
Has one still, right?
Yeah, Pandora has 2. And then who has the other belt at 54, guys? You got a WBO, WBC, WBA. Who has the IBF? Who has the IBF at 54, guys?
Crawford should be fighting at 160, because that's where he can get a belt at. If it's all about legacy, like he says, go try to go at 160. If you ain't gonna fight Boots and all these dudes at 154 is a log jam, go fight the dudes at 160 to get a belt. It's like just like my man Van said, all these dudes, the Haney's with the fraud stuff about legacy, then you see him fighting Ryan, and Terence is just trying to maneuver into a Canelo fight, which I can't blame him, because it's a really big money fight, which he could win, and I'd have him winning in a fight. I do. I already told you that. But I just don't understand all the bullshit. And then the fan base it's like the Haney and Crawford fan base are unbelievable. They're starting to get like Pacquiao in the fan base with Canelo. They make stuff up out of clear air. It's like all the people that were trash the tank fought, now Devin's trying to fight.
Exactly.
And to me, Terence is just posturing, man. He's wasting valuable time with his age, brother.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
And I want to see him in the ring, because he's really entertaining. He's like Tank. He gives you your money's worth. But to me, he should be trying to get fights just to get a couple fights in these last couple years, instead of looking for one big fight, because Canelo's not going to fight him. Canelo looks at him like he looks at Boots. It's too much of a risk. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you said before about he's not going to fight Benavidez. We already know that. So that 168 belt shit, that's not a true shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, and you got, I was against you. I was like, the size of Benavidez, but now since he's ready to fight Pandora, I'm like, wait a minute. You talking about size, and Pandora's bigger than biggest MJ. He big as Jordan.
6'6".
Yeah, so I'm like, so size wasn't it. It was just all about the bag, which I can't blame him. You know what I mean? But I just wish these dudes. But here's the thing, Greg. We already know that dudes nowadays just ain't like they were back in the day. They're just not. There's not too many dudes built like that where they're gonna take. They want to see who the baddest cat is. I think I'm the baddest cat. Let's do this. We don't really see that. Now, I'm loving what Tank's here ready to do with Frank Martin. I think that's going to springboard to him trying to get these other dudes. Because I don't think Tank wants to do this for much longer, as far as even what he said. So I think if Tank beats Frank Martin, I think he's going to try to get Shakur and maybe even Dev in the next year or so. But Terence needs to get some. To me, the Boots fight is the fight. Boots, what you think about this? If Terence fights Boots, you know what Vegas is going to look like, bro. Because look what Terence and Errol brought out. All the NBA, all the stars and everything. Boots is on that level. People who know sports, who are in sports, they know who Boots is.
Through the African American community, they all know.
They know more people know Boots than Pandora.
Yep, through the African American community, absolutely. Facts. Through the African American community, facts.
Do even Mexicans know Boots? You ever watch Robert Garcia and them, on their podcasts? They all praise that kid.
Fair.
Be honest with you. If we're being honest, and I know a lot of fans ain't gonna want to hear this, Boots is the real boogeyman. He can't even get a fight at 147. Right now, if you look at it, and I'm not saying Terence is scared of him, but then what's up? If you took some time to fight Benavidez, I can't even pronounce his name. If you took some time to fight that dude,
yeah, the risk. He wants a big ass reward for the risk.
Yeah, but he was telling people that David Region was a good fighter. Remember before that fight, he was selling them, saying he was this dude.
John Mack said Boots is trash.
That dude.
If Boots is trash, fight him.
The thing is, you have Terence Crawford telling you that Boots ain't that good. So if he's like you said, Greg, if he's trash, fight him.
Yep.
It's like, and that's what kills me about dudes. They definitely calling dudes trash, but then you because you heard what's his name from the PBC. You just said, I always forget his name, little short dude. It's like he said he was willing to make the Boots fight. Remember when they were interviewing him about that? When they were talking about that BLK Prime shit, he said there was, like you said, there was money for that fight. I guarantee you there's just as much as money for that fight as there is from Pandora. But I want to let you get to other people, man. Man, you messed me up when I saw you on today. I said, oh, man, let me hurry up and get in this call. Because, so I can get on there tomorrow. But you have a good one, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Later. Yeah, I had to jump on, man, and do my thing today. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes Jason be crowd my style, man. And when I'm ready to rant, I got to rant. I got to let it go. So I had to jump on here real quick for today. Just so you guys are aware. Today, hold on real quick, caller, just so you guys are aware. Today is my 11th year anniversary. So if you guys don't mind, wish your boy a happy 11th year anniversary. So caller, please announce yourself.
Let him cook. Let him cook. Before I begin, want to wish you and your beautiful wife happy 11th anniversary, amigo.
I appreciate it.
And I'm glad to see you back on. And listen, I actually just finished up with a client. Your live popped up. When I first started listening, I saw and heard that PBC operative on here just feeding you hot garbage. And you're just sitting there going, yeah, ain't that crazy? Yeah, ain't that crazy? All right. Well, I didn't quite get to understand everything that was being said. But from what I'm getting, we're still talking about Crawford, and I'm not sure what the logistics are saying, what the numbers are saying, but Crawford isn't quite still tied down to Spence, is he? But we're still talking about Crawford. I'm not sure. But that PBC operative, let me check the chat as I speak with you. I'm going to assume he believes in Espinosa. Espinosa recently was on Fight Hype. He said that the Spence-Crawford rematch at 154 fell apart because of Spence's medical issues. Are we debating that? Is that true or false?
That the fight with Terence Crawford fell apart because of Spence's medical issues?
Yes, sir. Are we in debate over that? Because
no, there's no debate.
I heard the PBC operative talking about that Crawford's antics were the reason why the rematch isn't happening.
No, that was a part of it for sure.
No. What is the reason why the rematch isn't happening? There's a reason why it's not happening.
Oh, it's twofold. So first, it started when Terence Crawford was trying to use the actual weight clause as a tool to leverage a better split with Errol Spence, and then Errol used the excuse to just go ahead and get out of the contract altogether because they weren't getting the split.
Okay. Who is telling you that there was an issue with negotiations? I never heard Espinosa say anything.
I heard Espinosa say it.
Crawford say anything.
I heard Espinosa say it.
And hang on a second, Greg. Hang on. Let me just get this all out, because I'm looking at the chat and I'm ready for that PBC operative, because he loves to chat while I'm on the phone. But today I got you. So when during the time between July 29th, 2023, and the end of Showtime in December, where they had the last card in Minnesota, did you hear that the rematch was going to take place at a certain date, at a certain time? They had a time slot, and it was going to be sold, but it's not going that way because of Crawford's negotiation tactics. When was that an issue? Because I never heard it. I never saw Crawford. I saw Crawford in the gym. He lives in the gym. I never saw Spence in the gym. Spence was in the islands. He may still be in the islands. So when did you see Spence in the gym preparing for a Crawford rematch? Here's the problem that I have with the PBC operative and the narratives. When you were saying that Crawford was dragging out negotiations, but at no time during that time did you ever see Spence in the gym training. Why is that? If someone can please send me a picture of Spence training between July 2029 and the time that Showtime had their last fight in December of 2023. Is there a picture? Is there a video? Is there a statement? Is there a tweet? Is there an Instagram? Is there a YouTube? Is there somebody like that PBC operative that can tell me that Spence was in the gym this past fall? Was he with James? Was he with Derek James? Was he running? Did you see him on a treadmill? Was he with a punching bag? Did he have mitts on? Can somebody please tell me that he was holding a mitt, or was he holding a pina colada? And we stop with these narratives, guys. Somebody please. When was he in the gym in the fall preparing for the rematch?
So let me just comment on one
thing.
thing.
Him in the gym since.
Let me comment on one thing. So all the gym stuff, you can have that. But the whole comment in regards to Steven Espinosa, I just dropped a video in the comment section. I'm pretty sure we actually clipped out the comment from Steven Espinosa where he talks about the contract and the weight clause, and that it was not meant to be used in a manner where you're trying to use it to leverage in some other way, right? So he talked about that specifically in the interview that we clipped out. And the reason why he was commenting on that, and he mentioned also in that video or in that interview, that we don't want to see you now talking about you want to fight at 47-47. We end up moving on because Errol doesn't want to fight at that weight, and then your next fight is at 54, because that's not the spirit in which the clause in the contract was meant to be used. So that in fact did happen. We know that happened. I don't know why everybody's trying to act like that's new news.
Espinosa, no, I'm gonna listen. I don't want to feed you any garbage. Okay, so let's have an adult conversation. Listen, Espinosa, you either agree with him, don't agree with him, believe him, don't believe him. I think he's a politician. It's 50% in, 50% out. Garbage in, garbage out. He'll sprinkle some facts in there, but most of the time he's just trying to massage it. Okay? So here is the verbiage of the contract, and you can agree or disagree or correct me. The rematch was at 147. If you could not make 147, you had to submit a reason that you couldn't make 147, and then they will go up to 154. The problem is that Spence never did that. He never submitted that, hey, I can no longer make 147, so let's go to 154. But listen, the fact of the matter is Showtime was never going to put on that rematch by the time they went out of business. Espinosa, in that same interview, would tell you, when is the rematch going to happen? Well, it could happen in the year, first quarter of the 2024. First quarter of 2024, when you knew Showtime is going out of business in December of 2023. So here recently, he tells you. So you can clip that interview, or you can come to a more recent interview here in the last 30 days, and he tells you Crawford agreed to all terms. Crawford agreed to all terms. The reason the rematch did not happen because of Spence's surgery and other medical issues. So my question to you is this. BBC operative in the chat, I'm watching you. BBC operative, why did Spence elect to get surgery in January, February, if indeed he was going to rematch Crawford last year? Greg.
So I'm not sure what statement you're referring to in regards to Steven Espinosa, because I haven't heard that interview. So it's hard for me to comment on what it is.
He just had an interview in the last couple of weeks with Fight Hype, and they asked him about the rematch. But let me tell you this, and Greg, you're a very smart guy. You can do your research. But what I don't want you to do is go the wayside of most of these other YouTube channels and allow garbage to just infiltrate your business model. You got to question some of these things, and the answers are right in front of you. Or you can Google it or get on YouTube, and you will get all the answers you want. But here's my other question about Boots. Because when BLK Prime called Espinosa, and he addressed it here recently, Espinosa will answer all your questions. He said the biggest reason that fight didn't happen when BLK Prime called was because the Crawford-Spence fight was 80% done, and he did not want to step on their shoes. People are underestimating that if Espinosa put a Boots fight together with Crawford at that time, he would be stepping on the feet of Spence and Al Heyman, because ultimately they wanted the Crawford fight. Well, at least Spence wanted it, because, it was strap season. He wanted to get all the straps. Remember that? So my question to you is this. The PBC operative is absolutely correct. Crawford doesn't have a fight scheduled as of this hour. Next week, he may. We already know what the breaking news is. I'll get to that here in a second. Boots just got cleared by the courts. He's a free agent. He's with Espinosa. He's with PBC. I'm not sure. So why doesn't Espinosa make Crawford an offer for undisputed at 147? Which leads me into Greg. You're a very smart guy. Only if it fits your narrative. If it doesn't fit your narrative, you're going to act like you don't understand. So Crawford is not his own boss. But Canelo is.
Not.
But Haney is.
No, he's not.
When these fighters are talking about being their own bosses, that means that if you want to take a fight, you take the fight. He doesn't have to go to Al Heyman and go, what do you think? You think I could take this fight? Does it make sense? That's what he means. You can make a decision on your own, not that he has to bankroll his goddamn fight What fighter in the history of boxing, not even Mayweather, bankrolled his own fights?
Yes, Floyd did. Floyd put up his own money for some of his fights. He did.
Show me proof.
Mayweather Promotions.
Show me proof, Greg.
Mayweather Promotions was the lead promoter on his last few fights.
Greg, don't do that.
What are you talking about, brother? Mayweather Promotions was the lead promoter on his last few fights.
Don't do that. Mayweather's never bankrolled his own fights. He was fighting under De La Hoya. What are you talking about?
Not in his last few fights.
When did he ever? Greg, are you being serious right now? Brother, I'm going to move on. No fighters ever bankrolled their own fights, man. Come on now. We have to turn the game upside down when it comes to Crawford. Oh, if you're a real boss, why aren't you putting up the money? Come on now. That's not what he means. He means he can make his own decisions, and he doesn't have to run to an Al Heyman. He doesn't have to run to an Oscar De La Hoya. He doesn't have to run to an Eddie Hearn. That's what he means by being his own boss. But let's not get the facts get in the way of what we're trying to disperse to an audience, our platform.
Okay.
But here's what I will tell you, and I will tell the PBC operatives, because I go on every damn channel on YouTube, and I see some of the same goddamn characters in the chat. The girls, oh, I can't stand this caller. I can't. Brother, you can't stand someone that speaks from the heart and will give you the gut-wrenching truth. That's what you can't stand. You want somebody who's going to come on here and give you the same old wash, rinse, and repeat narrative. And it ain't going to be me. And before it's all said and done, you're going to remember my name. But I will say this. Here is what's the good news for the PBC. The PBC. The P. Diddy Boxing Committee. Is that our guy, Turkey Al-Sikh. God bless him. He's a true boxing fan. He sees what's going on in America. He's already reached out to David Benavidez. And now he's reached out to Terence Bud Crawford. So here's what I say to the PBC operatives. If Crawford is not who we say he is, if Crawford has nothing to offer you unless his name is tied to Spence, we got some money now. So why don't you keep Terence Crawford's name out of your mouth and find another topic to talk about? This is Jerry Soriano, your lender for life. Let him cook.
That was Jerry Soriano, our lender for life. Let me pause right here real quick and let you guys know something. For Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, the lead promoter on that fight was Floyd Mayweather, Mayweather Promotions. The second promoter was Top Rank. The promoters are the ones that put up the money for fights. Floyd Mayweather talked about the fact that he was so exhausted for that fight, and the reason why he got the IVs was because he was playing the role of both the promoter while having to train for the fight. Promoters put up the money and pay for the fights and the undercards. Therefore, he funded the card. That is the reason why I said he bankrolled the card. So miss me with the notion that he's never put up money for one of his fight cards. The hell are you talking about? Jesus Christ, man. Now, I give everybody the opportunity to say what is on their mind. That is not me not challenging. That is not me allowing garbage to infiltrate, because there are things that I agree with and disagree with all callers that call in. I give you the opportunity to say what it is that you have to say, because it gives it, the platform is designed for everybody to have a voice. Again, I've paused the line for a second. So if you're calling in, that's the reason why you're not getting through. Okay. Again, Steven Espinosa spoke specifically to the contract and weights within the contract, and making sure that you're not using the weights to try to do anything else, meaning you shouldn't use the weight. And then he talked specifically about Terence Crawford, wanting to fight at 47. And then if the fight doesn't materialize, then move up to 54. He specifically used Terence Crawford's name, D-Town Funk. How the fuck was that a generalized statement about both fighters when he specifically spoke to Terence Crawford moving up to 54 later? The fuck are you talking about? Talking about generalized statement. That makes no sense. Like, what are you talking about? So, dude, man, come on, man. You guys literally will rewrite something to make it fit with what you said. In that interview, he said Terence Crawford, he does not want Terence Crawford cannot say he wants to fight at 47 and then later, if the fight doesn't materialize, move to 54. So how the fuck is he talking about both Terence Crawford and Errol Spence? Fuck out of here, man. Mayweather Promotion has put up money for fights with Tank, Badu Jack, and Smith, and others. Hey, Greg, you need a commercial break. Brother Greg, you got to chill. My apologies. I apologize. He did say his name. He did say his name. I don't know what interview you looking at, but he did say his name. He talked specifically about him. And the report had already been out. That's the reason why he was addressing it. What? Use some logic, D-Town Funk. Let's say he didn't use his name. Why, if we know that in the contract, it states that the winner gets to dictate what the weight class was, and Terence Crawford is the winner, then how is he applying it to Errol Spence? It doesn't apply to Errol Spence because he doesn't have the decision. He can't make the decision about weight. He didn't win. So he can't be talking about Errol Spence. Use your damn head, bruh. The fuck are you talking about? Fuck. Anyway, I just get tired of this stuff where, man, he didn't say his name. He didn't, like, man, dude, use context, man. It's very simple. People need, you got to explicitly state the name, or it means that he never said it. Like, even if he didn't say it, it doesn't matter. Common sense and context tell you who he's talking about. The contract states the winner gets the opportunity to dictate the weight for the rematch. So if he's talking about you cannot use the weight class to dictate the weight and use that as a means to leverage something else, and then after that move up to a different weight class. He's talking about whoever won, which was Terence Crawford. He doesn't have to say his name. Jesus Christ. Context. It's the same crap that John Mack be trying to use. Like context doesn't exist. Like linguistic context doesn't exist. Like if you don't say something specifically or explicitly, it's never said and you can just dismiss it. Jesus Christ, man. That kind of reasoning and logic makes you look like a moron. It doesn't make you look smart. It makes you look like a moron. And it's not beef, D-Town Funk. It's no beef. I still love you. I'm just saying, when you argue like that, it makes you look like you don't. I know you're not dumb. I'm not saying you're dumb, but it makes you look like you're dumb because it's like, come on, you know this, dude. You're arguing with emotions now, bro. Stop arguing with emotions. He's talking about Terence Crawford, and that's okay. Tunnel Vision. In the latest interview, he said Crawford was willing to fight at 54 at the terms agreed upon. Nah. Oh, okay. So then what you're saying, so if that's the case, I haven't heard that yet. If that's the case, and if you have the timestamp on that, send it to me because I'll play it right now for everybody, and then we'll find out if what our lender for life said was really what was said. Jason Williams said, I need to do a woosah. No, I mean, it annoys me when, because I see people when they try to argue in that way, right? And that always annoys me when people try to argue in ways where, if something isn't explicitly stated, right? You need to explicitly state something. If it's not explicitly stated, then it's an issue. Like, come on, dude. Like, context clues would suggest that it doesn't need to, who's saying what and why it's being said. What's going on with you, fam?
Hey, what's going on? There's Tunnel Vision.
What's up, Tunnel?
Yeah, just real quick. In that interview that he had, this is basically what he said. He said, when it came to to Errol Spence, he said, Errol Spence really wanted his get back. He's like, he really wanted his get back. That's how he said it. He said when it came to Terence Crawford, he said Terence Crawford was willing to fight at 154 pounds. That's exactly how he said it. He said Terence Crawford was willing to fight at 154 pounds. At the terms that it was agreed upon, no. Basically saying he wasn't going to fight him at the terms agreed upon. You know what I'm saying? And we know this because Terence Crawford was trying to negotiate that fight. He's been trying to negotiate with that rematch. We knew that. So this whole thing where he's Mr. Let Him Cook WWE man talking about how he said that and Terence Crawford agreed to everything. That is not what he said. Literally quote for quote what he said was Terence Crawford, yeah, he was willing to fight at 154 pounds, but at the terms agreed upon, no. He literally said it just like that.
Okay, so that is exactly, and that goes right back to what I said. He was trying to use the weight clause to negotiate terms, and that's been known for a long time. I don't know why everybody's trying to act like that's a secret now.
Yeah, so this whole thing we're talking about, he agreed to all the terms and this and that. Espinosa never said any of that stuff. He never said none of that stuff. But you're right, he is diplomatic. He wasn't trying to make Terence Crawford look bad. That's the thing. He wasn't trying to shit on Terence Crawford because he doesn't do that pretty much with anybody. Even when Canelo makes his crazy moves, he doesn't piss on him. He tries to talk about it in a diplomatic way. But he basically what he was saying was no. He did not agree to the damn terms. He didn't agree to the terms. They've been negotiating with this guy for months. Terence Crawford himself said, "Yeah, we're negotiating," and he's talking about the whole thing about Terence Crawford and why Errol Spence wasn't training for the fight if they were having it. Why would you? Number one, he got the shit beat out of him, so he had to heal. But number two, why would you be training for a fight that's not what do you call it? That's not set. The fight wasn't set, and I guess everybody forgot that entire time. Terence Crawford was talking about not wanting to do the fight. Terence Crawford was talking about fighting fighting Canelo Alvarez. It was Canelo. That's the only thing he was talking about. Somebody from his camp, I forget what his name was, actually said, "Yeah, we're trying to get out the fight. We can get out the fight by forcing him to fight at 147 pounds because he doesn't want to fight at 147."
Steven Nelson said that.
Yeah, he literally said that. He said, "Yeah, we want Canelo. The fight that we want is versus Canelo. Well, we can get out of this fight because he doesn't want to fight at 154 pounds, at 147 pounds, and we're just going to make him fight at 147 pounds. So either fight as a 147 or just move on. So we can move on," because they were trying to get out the fight that whole time until they realized that they weren't getting the Canelo fight. Then he was negotiating whatever, and I don't know if it's true what the Benavidez is whatever promoter was saying for Pandora, but they're talking about how he wants a substantial amount of money, and he also wants to be a co-promoter. He wants to have the same things he had with the Errol Spence fight. He wants to have that for other fights. There's a reason why they're just saying F him and they're just moving on and doing other things and icing him out and just slicing him out of the equation. Because they would have him do other fights. There's other fights they could have with him. They're just saying F it. The only reason they had him do that eye surgery was because just so he can extend this thing and just expire it. Because that's it.
That's what I think.
And now it's expired, and you see what are the moves are they making? They're completely just icing him out, just doing other things that have nothing to do with him, saying, "Cool, you don't want to be part of the program, that's fine," which he has the right to. Go do your own thing, because they have the right to do what they want as well. You know what I mean? So they're doing what they believe is in the best interest of their business. He's doing what he believes in his best interest of him and him. And he has a right to do that. So when I'm saying this, I'm not even trashing him. I'm just saying that, no, what he wants to do, what he wants is different from what they want. That's why the fight didn't happen. Because because everything was set. If he agreed to everything, if he had said yes, the fight would have happened. It would have been. Why would they be talking? Why would Terence Crawford say we've been talking and we're negotiating? Why would he be saying that if he agreed to everything? It doesn't make any sense. He said that.
It didn't make no sense.
What are you negotiating?
He said that. And he is on record saying that. He's on record saying, they're talking. Mack is on record saying, they're talking. So, like, everybody knows that it was already stated and stipulated within the original contract what the terms of the rematch was going to be. So why are you talking now? What is there to talk about? Because he's trying to renegotiate. That's why.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's what the truth is. Don't try to just flip it around all of a sudden. Oh, he agreed to everything. It's an impossibility. If he had agreed to everything, Mr. WWE, let him cook whatever it is. If he agreed to everything, there wouldn't be talking. There'd be nothing to talk about. The only thing they would have been focusing on is getting a date. That's it. All Crawford would have said is like, yo, we're just waiting on the date. That's all he would have been saying. Mack would have been like, man, we're just waiting on the date. The fight's at 154 because everything was already set. The weight, the money split, everything was already set. Everything. So there was nothing to talk about. The only thing would have been when the fight's happening. That's it. Nothing. Yep, and they probably would have been the ones that might have started off the whole, the whole, what do you call it? The whole Amazon thing. They probably would have been the one that started it off. But no, they didn't agree to anything. So it got to the point where they moved on because they're not waiting around anymore. They're not doing that. They're not playing those games anymore, like at all. And period. They're not playing it anymore. So it's kind of funny that people always say that, oh man, Terence Crawford really changed the PBC. Yes, but yes, he did. They've completely changed their way to negotiate and the way they deal with stuff. They're not dealing with BS at all anymore. That was it when it came to him.
I feel you on
period.
That.
But but it's all good. But I just wanted to clarify that for what was actually said because that dude likes to come over here and tell half truths, or he'll just blatantly just lie. Because if you go and listen to that interview, he says nothing about that man agreeing to all the stipulations. And again, I'm not even shitting on Terence Crawford about it. I'm just saying what it is. And I'm saying that I understand why he's doing it because it's worked before. The things that he's done over his career from the end of Top Rank, that first contract he had, to what he did with Errol Spence, it worked. So I'm not shocked when people say, oh, he's doing this. I'm not shocked because it's worked for him before. So until it stops working, he's going to keep doing it. And I can't blame him for that because it worked for him. Yeah. But just call it what it is.
Exactly. All right, man. Let me catch up with you, fam. I want to try to do something here real quick.
I am out.
All right, later. All right. So I'm turning the phone lines off here for a second. I found something here. I'm going to try to play it real quick. I don't know if this is the interview that you guys are talking about. You let me know.
Let's switch gears to two other great fighters real quick. I want to ask you, Steve, why did Terence Crawford and Errol Spence rematch fall apart?
Well, look, Spence definitely wanted his get back. He definitely wanted another shot, and obviously, Crawford, being the gentleman that he is and the businessman that he is, he said, okay, whether it was exactly the terms of the rematch clause or not, he was certainly willing to do it. But then, there's some eye surgery, there's a recovery.
Whether it was exactly the terms of the rematch clause or not. So he's basically telling you that right there. I'm going to replay that because he's basically telling you right there it wasn't the exact terms of the rematch. Let's replay that, guys.
He definitely wanted another shot, and obviously, Crawford, being the gentleman that he is and the businessman that he is, he said, okay, whether it was exactly the terms of the rematch clause or not, he was certainly willing to do it.
So whether it was the exact rematch terms of the rematch clause or not, he was certainly willing to do it. So what that means is he was willing to do it, but it wasn't necessarily the exact terms of the rematch clause. That is what Tunnel Vision was just saying. He didn't say nah. He was just saying it wasn't really. Guys, again, I'm going to go back and say this again. You got to understand context of what people are saying. and stop glossing over what is being said. There is no reason to actually state whether or not it was the exact terms of the contract of the rematch clause. The reason why he's calling that out is because he was not willing to do it for the exact terms of the rematch clause, but he was willing to do it, meaning he was trying to renegotiate. So I'll continue to play this if you guys want to, but he didn't state in here that he had agreed to all terms. So what was said, unless my favorite lender for life is saying something different, he got something completely different, unless this was a different interview or he listened to a different interview.
But then, there's some eye surgery, there's a recovery there, and there's a reality that it's not fair to keep Crawford waiting forever to do that. So I think it was, they put their heads together, tried to make it come together. Other factors came in, including the eye surgery, including some medical, things, and they each, decided, look, let's not hold each other up over this.
Yeah. So again, what I'm hearing here is Terence Crawford was willing to do the rematch, but not for the terms of the actual rematch, which meant he wanted to do it at 47. He was using 47 as a way to get a different split. Or if you fought at 54, you were going to give him different money. So 47 for the rematch clause or 54 to give me different money, which is what we were saying from the beginning and what Stephen Espinosa addressed during the interview that I called out in the video that I sent. And then ultimately, the eye surgery, they probably negotiated that. And then ultimately the eye surgery was like, okay, we're not going to do this any longer. Let's just move on. But Errol probably used the eye surgery as, I'm not giving him what he wants at 54, that split. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's stop using false narratives to fit what we want. Now, my lender for life, if there's another clip that you have where Stephen Espinosa said Terence Crawford agreed to all terms, then by all means, go to the comments section and send it. But what was just said there was not what you said. And I'm going to look at the comment section right now. Can somebody tell me that I'm wrong? ASVP TV, are you freaking kidding me? That's exactly what he just said. What are you talking about? That's exactly what he just said. If he would have done it for the same terms, he wouldn't have said anything. There was no reason to say it. If it was just he was willing to do it, there's no reason to talk about whether or not that was at the exact same terms. There's no reason to put that caveat in there. So clearly he was not willing to do the rematch at the exact same terms of the rematch clause, or said differently, he was willing to do it at 47, but not at 54. And he really wasn't willing to do it at 47 because he knew Errol really couldn't make 47 anymore. So really he knew it had to be at 54. Dog, it doesn't take a freaking genius to understand this. And if you don't understand it, it's simply because you don't want to. Steph Brown, appreciate you. $4.99. Be Well AM Sports Media. Two really good callers there. Appreciate you letting them cook. Well done, tunnel vision. Clarification at its finest. Thank you. Play it so it could sink in. Keep Crawford waiting forever. Suleiman, I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, what Jerry said was incorrect. Sorry, it was incorrect. Unless he has another video, Stephen Espinosa called out specifically whether or not he was willing to do the rematch at the agreed upon rematch clause. There is no reason to add that caveat other than he was not willing to do it at the rematch clause. Spence changed the terms. What are you talking about? Spence changed the terms. Spence didn't change nothing. The hell are you talking about? Greg, you sound terrible. How do I sound terrible? I've already played it. I don't. It's very clear. Like, if you don't understand this, you simply don't want to understand it. Stop twisting the man's word. What are you talking about? Like, again, ASVP TV. I'm not twisting the man's words, unless, dude. And I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence. I really don't. I'm so tired of people acting as though something needs to be spelled out for them as though they're 2 years old. There is no reason to call out whether or not he was willing to do it at the agreed upon rematch contract clause, because we all state that there. We all heard that. There is no reason to state that if he was going to do it at the original contract clause, or what was actually in the original rematch clause. So because he stated that, that means he was not willing to do that, which means he was trying to renegotiate, which is exactly what was reported and what we were talking about. So I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, anything outside of that, anything that you're trying to explain outside of that is idiotic. Like, I'm not understanding, B-Dog. Like, what do you mean? What did he say verbatim? He said Errol Spence wanted his get back, and he said Terence Crawford certainly was a man of his word. Now, whether or not he wanted to do it at the rematch clause, again, what does that mean? Dog, he doesn't have to say he doesn't have to say he didn't want to do it for the specified terms of the rematch clause. Like, you're a fucking idiot if that's the only way that you can understand that. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. ASVB TV, if the only way you understand he didn't want to do it for the agreed upon terms in the rematch clause is he has to say that verbatim, like he has to say it verbatim for you to understand it, then you're a fucking idiot. That's the only thing I don't know what else to say. Fucking idiot. No, I'm not gonna run it back because it's idiotic. There is no reason to add that. Boy, your SAT score must have been like, you must have scored like a combined like 700, and hell, you get a 600 by putting your damn name on the damn thing. You don't have to, come on, man. I hate to insult people, but Jesus Christ, dude. There is no interpretation, dog. There is no interpretation. There is no interpretation. There's more than one way to say something, and you don't have to say it verbatim, guy. You don't have to say something verbatim. Whether or not he wanted to put, Jesus Christ, now I see why you get, I really do understand how you get some of these dumbass comments.
Look, Crawford, Spence definitely wanted his get back.
Spence definitely wanted to get his get back.
Wanted another shot.
Definitely wanted another shot.
And, and obviously, Crawford, being the gentleman that he is and the business.
Being the gentleman that he is and the businessman that he is.
He said, okay, whether it was exactly the terms of the rematch clause or not, he was certainly willing to do it.
Whether it was the exact terms of the rematch clause or not. Whether it was the exact terms of the rematch clause or not. So, whether it was the exact terms of the rematch clause or not, he was willing to do it. The reason why he added that caveat was because it was not clear as day. When you add a caveat like that, that is the reason for adding that caveat. Yes, he was willing to do it. He was willing to do it, yes. Whether that was for the rematch clause or not. Again, you don't add a caveat in there when the rematch clause is there. All you say is Terence Crawford was willing to do the rematch. Being the businessman that he is, he was willing to do the rematch. And you move on. There is no need to talk about whether or not he was willing to do it for what was in the rematch clause or not. No, that's not what it means. That's not what it means. Whether he was willing to do it for the rematch or not. Jesus Christ, boy. I don't. Whew. Some of you guys. Whether he was willing to do that for the rematch clause or not. He was certainly willing to do it. He was willing to do it. Now, whether that was for the rematch, what was in the rematch clause or not, that's what he's saying. Whether that was for what was in the rematch clause. He was willing to have the rematch, guys. That's all he was saying. He was willing to have the rematch. That's it. But for the terms, that's all he's saying. That's what he's saying. So I don't know why you guys don't understand that. You don't add a caveat like that. If he was willing to do it for whatever was in the rematch clause, you don't add a caveat. There's no reason to add the rematch clause. There's no reason to add a caveat in there because he's willing to do it no matter what. That's how you present that. No, I'm not wrong. I'm actually right. Jesus Christ, boy, you guys are some of the dumbest fucks I've ever seen in my life. You guys, Alan Day, Larry Lopez, you two are some of the stupidest fucks I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to go ahead and move on because you both are dumb. You don't add caveats like that. There's no reason to add a caveat. What does that even mean, Jerry? So, Greg, you are saying that Spence is willing to fight Crawford at 54. I haven't heard that breaking news. Let me refresh my Twitter feed. What does that have to do with anything? What does that mean? What does that have to do with anything? Anyway, moving right along. I'm opening back the phone lines now. Phone lines are back open. I'm probably going to go another 5 minutes. Oh, I'm not assuming anything. I'm not assuming anything. It's context. It's context. What you don't add that in there. Again, 1 second, Walt. When somebody is willing to do something no matter what, you don't need to add that in there. There is no reason for you to add that in there. All you say is that Terence Crawford was willing to take the rematch. Whether or not he was willing to take the rematch or not, for the agreed upon terms or not. Go ahead, Walt.
I just wanted to say real quick, happy anniversary. But
I appreciate you, fam.
Let it go because it doesn't matter. You could be holding up the contract and saying what it said, and they're still not going to believe you, brother. So just let it go.
You're right.
You're going to just it's like pounding your head on the wall, bro. You know what I mean?
You ain't lying.
Clearly hit. He would not have put that caveat in it. He would have just said, yeah, he said he wanted to rematch. We're going to do it. He would have said it just like that.
Yep.
There wouldn't have been no or not in there. It's like, but you know what it is. You got some people who can't comprehend that. All they heard was, yeah, he willing to do it. And they hear the or not. Whether it's the same or not. You're not going to put any of that in there. It's like, a lot of these people, if they went in there and did with some contracts, man, you could flim-flam the fuck out of them because they ain't looking at the fine print, man. Y'all have a good one, bro.
I appreciate you, man. Later. You're absolutely right about that. A lot of 600 and 700 SAT scores in here. By the way, I ain't going to even go there because my SAT scores are immaculate. So that's why, again, I don't worry about what folks in the comment section say. Yes, sir. 774, you in the building. What's going on with you, fam?
Yes, sir. It's Mack.
What's going on with you?
Brother?
Doing well, doing well.
You was on a cruise?
I was on a cruise, but I'm back now. Back at the crib.
Yeah. I hope you had a good time.
I had a pretty good time. What's going? Who is this? Is this John Mack?
John Mack. Yeah.
What's going on, John Mack?
Hey, I got here late. I didn't know you guys were having this today. But anyways, one point I just caught a couple minutes ago. You guys were talking. I fucking lost it. What the fuck was I saying? What were you guys just talking about?
The comments from Steven Espinosa.
Holy shit. Well, I'll call back. I'm fucking brain dead right now.
What happened?
I totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, I'll have to call back.
All right, no worries.
All right, sorry about it.
No worries, man. Later. That was John Mack in the building. All right, yeah, D-Time Funk said, be cool, Greg. Come on, bro. Nah, man, I return fire. I saw a comment talking about illiteracy and all that other stuff from Alan Day and whoever else it was. Alan, maybe it was Larry Lopez or whoever it was. I return fire because you like to question intelligence. I will question your intelligence right back. That's it. Not a problem whatsoever. Interesting. Let's see something here. I'm curious, actually. I'm actually pretty curious now about something. Well, let's do this. Let me see where are we at here. Yeah, you guys talk amongst yourselves here real quick. I'm just trying to find something real quick. This is going to be an interesting experiment here. Give me 1 second. So I just dropped this into Chat GTP, and Chat GTP suggests that what I'm saying is correct. That the way that this is phrased, that it will suggest that there is uncertainty around the exact terms of the contract. He is willing to move forward with the contract, although there is uncertainty around the contract. So I was just curious what ChatGTP was going to say in regards to that. So again, if there was clarity around the contract, of course, he would have just moved forward with it. I was just curious to see what he was going to say. Just a little experiment. But anyway, let's see. 700 SAT low blow, man. Okay. My apologies. It bums in the street with 1,500 scores. Oh, that's fair. He's moving scared, but you're right. There's no need for it. Spence is scared. He's being talked into the rematch with blaming Spence. You're right. Not ChatGTP. Well, ChatGTP is actually an expert at understanding linguistics, my friend. So I was just curious to see what he might say with the exact terms that are being used. Not that difficult. No, I love being right, ASVP TV. Clearly, I am right. You don't add that caveat in there if he's willing to move forward regardless of the terms. But anyway, all right, man. Well, let me start off by saying this. My apologies to anybody that I insulted today. ASVP TV. Who else was it? Was it Juice? Was it? I can't remember the other name. Was it Alan Day? Alan Day and somebody, maybe Larry Lopez. My apologies to you guys. I did not mean to. I did not like the illiteracy statement. I should not have insulted your intelligence. I still love you guys. You guys piss me off when you do certain stuff. I think you guys do that by design. Y'all know y'all piss me off when y'all do that stuff, man. I think you do it purposely to get up under my skin. But I still love you because you come on here every time and you support the channel. So I can't be too mad at y'all. But nah, man, it was another good show. I wanted to come on here and just rant a little bit. Let me also say thank you to everybody that supported the show today. I use some foul language today too, guys. I use some bad language today. Let me apologize to the ladies too. Barbara D, I'm sorry, had a potty mouth today. Shout out to Athletic Minds, $1.99. Appreciate you, fam. Oh, but before I go down the list, Athletic Minds got a video out. Y'all go check out his video. It's on his channel. Give me 1 second. Let me find it. Athletic Minds got a video out. It's called Why Terence Crawford Won't Beat Canelo Alvarez. And, that's my guy, man. He cooked me one day, and we've been cool ever since. Go check out his channel. It's on Boxaholic. The name of the channel is Boxaholic, and the video is called Why Terence Crawford Won't Beat Canelo Alvarez. He's breaking it down, 17 minutes, so go check it out. I want to give shouts out to Tunnel Vision that gave us $5, Barbara D $5, Tunnel Vision another $5, Tunnel Vision another $5, Steph Brown $4.99, Steph Brown $1.99. The saga continues with this mess. I don't think I read that. Jerry Soriano, appreciate you, Jerry, and Jake $2 love. Appreciate you again. My apologies for going off on you guys today. Damn, I feel bad about this now, man. I feel bad because I fuck with ASVP TV too. Damn, I was getting on I was shooting bullets at my dog. Yeah, we doing a show tomorrow, Veronica. Definitely 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be online tomorrow, so make sure you come check us out for sure. D-Town Funk. My apologies to you too, fam. I was going hard today, man. Shit. I'm embarrassed, guys. I let off some rounds today. It's my anniversary too. My wife, hey dog, just it's funny too because my wife came down and she walked down and she kind of came to the hallway and she looked like this. She was like, I was like, oh, so I was yeah, all good. It's not personal for me, man. You guys, but no, somebody said I was illiterate, dog, so I had to shoot shots back. I had to shoot my shots back. I can't let y'all just take shots at me in the comment section. I gotta shoot my shots back. Let's see what else we got. I like when Greg embraces the name, the podcast, AO Sports Media. I get. That's why we named it Angry Man Podcast. I get angry sometimes. I actually try to control it. I've been doing a great job of controlling it. My friend told me I shouldn't get as angry, so I've been trying to control it. But yeah, I didn't do a great job today. I hurt a lot of feelings. I hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings today. But anyway, man, y'all check us out tomorrow. I came on solo today. I gave y'all 2 hours today solo. One day Jason gonna come on and give y'all 2 hours as well. You're human, man. Yeah, I am human. Sometimes you get a little pissed. Who is Errol fighting next, Greg? I have no idea. I wish I did know. But we're going to be on tomorrow. Me and Jason tomorrow together. We got content that we're going to drop tomorrow as well. We're going to be more active this month. The last 6 weeks, I've been traveling like crazy. I traveled all this week. I traveled the week before. I was home a week, and then I was traveling the week before that as well. And then I traveled, I think, the week before that as well. So I've been traveling like crazy. And we haven't been getting off the content that we wanted to, but we're definitely going to be doing a little bit more of it in April for sure. So make sure you guys check us out tomorrow. Polls dropping soon, shorts dropping soon. You guys check it out, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Appreciate it. Again, love. My bad, Larry Lopez, ASVP TV. My bad, dog. Shots out. Love. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. Peace.